Hello, children. Well, let's continue with our story of Abram. Last time I was together with my 3 grandchildren over there in South Carolina, and we walked through the story of God telling Abram to count the stars and to not doubt him anymore. And so then we're in verse 6 of Genesis 15, where it says, "And he believed in the Lord, and it was counted to him for righteousness." And so this is a very important verse and a very important truth. Well, there's actually two. There's two things being said here. First of all, Abram believed God. That is so important for us to understand and for us to imitate. When God says something, we believe it, even if we can't see what he says. When he says, for example, "I am preparing a place for you in heaven, and one day you will be with me." We can't see that. We can't see that place. We can't see him building anything. But he said he was building, and he would build for us. He told us that in the New Testament. And what is our responsibility? To believe him and say, okay, that's what God said, that's what he's doing. Or he told us that he made the earth in 6 days. The 6 days of creation. He made everything that existed in the universe. Well, we weren't there. We can't see it. Nobody was there to take pictures. But what do we do with what God said? We believe it. We believe it like Abram. What happens when we believe? Then God, it says he accounted it to him for righteousness. That means God was absolutely happy with Abram believing him, and God was going to make sure that it was good for Abram that he had believed in God. It was going to be a blessing, a huge blessing for Abram because he believed God. Okay, so the Bible goes on, and God keeps telling him, and he says to him, "I am the Lord, I am God, who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans." That was the place that Abram used to live in, where all of the idol-worshiping people were, even his family. And God had told him to leave that place and to get away from there, that God was going to give him another land all for himself. He says, "I brought you out of Ur of the Chaldees to give you this land to inherit it." And so God reminded Abram that he had brought him here, and now Abram was supposed to continue believing God. Everything that God said, God had told him many years before, "You leave your land, you leave your family, and I'm going to take you to a new country, and I'm going to give it to you." Well, God had brought him all the way, many, 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 many miles away, and he had brought him to this land, and now he was saying, "This land is going to be yours. It is going to be for your family, and your family is going to be huge. It's going to be very, very big. You won't be able to count the number of family members you have." And so he said, "Remember to count the stars." He said, "You can't count the stars, can you?" Well, you're not going to be able to count all your family members either. And basically that was one way of saying you're going to have a huge family. And God rewarded Abram for his faith. What is faith? Well, faith is believing what God says, especially when you can't see what he's telling you is going to happen, and you have to believe it without seeing it. That's faith. It's believing something that you can't see. So, we have many things that we are supposed to believe. We believe in God. We can't see God. We believe in the Lord Jesus, who died for us so that we could be saved. We can't see the Lord Jesus. He says, "I am giving you an inheritance in heaven forever." Well, we can't see that, but we can believe it. Like Abram, we can believe God, and God will make sure that because we believe in him, we will be blessed and we will get everything he told us that he would give us. Okay? Great lesson and a great example by Abram. Okay, goodbye.